Hello and welcome to practice. My name is Brenton and I'm joined today with my pal Ollie.
Hi.
And today we are going to be focusing on our hands and our feet. So the feet are really cool because they connect through the back line via fascia, which interconnects all of our soft tissues. And so you can actually see in the body that there's connectivity from the feet all the way up the backs of the legs, all the way up through the back of the neck, the skull, and then that point actually ends right here on the forehead. So anything we do with the feet is going to have massive implications all the way up the chain. And the hands are also part of that. So why don't we go ahead and get started on our backs. If you have a yoga block, go ahead and grab that. We will start with it underneath our low backs. If you don't have a yoga block, grab something else, maybe like a thick Harry Potter sized book or something like that. I'm gonna take it the lowest way, right underneath the sacrum, which is right above the butt crack. And now from here, I wanna set the pelvis down in such a way that the low back feels very spacious, nothing feels pinched or clamped in there. And I also want my feet and my knees to feel good. So you have to figure out how to space your feet close or away from your pelvis. Lengthen the head so that the back of the neck gets really long. And then try to relax as much as you can through your shoulders and through the front of your ribs. We're gonna keep the left foot on the ground. We're gonna lift the right knee up over the hip. Maybe when you do that, it kind of twerks your pelvis this way or that way. So you need to recenter your pelvis between your legs and between your armpits. Straighten your leg to the best that you can without overdoing it in any part of the leg. So your calf should feel long, your hamstring should feel long, the front of your leg nice and engaged. Okay, we're going to move at the hip, that means the ball and socket joint, and we're going to cross the right foot over the left side of the body a few inches. Already right there, I can feel a stretch pulling along a different part of the back of the leg, so that's really great. Now twist at your ankle inward. So you're kind of pointing your pinky toe more up towards the corner of the ceiling and you're flexing your big toe more down towards your face. Now I feel a big stretch along the whole outside of that right leg. Okay, so straighten out the ankle, bring the leg up through center, and we're gonna stretch it over the right side of the body a few inches, abducting the hip. So don't let it pull your pelvis or your belly. And from here, you're gonna twist the foot outward. So you're pushing now through the big toe mound and the pinky side of the foot pulls back towards the right armpit. All right, so we're gonna bring the leg back up through center, take it over to the left, twist at the ankle, that's called inverting. And then bringing the leg back up through center, over to the right, everting the ankle. One more time. Stretching it across the body to the left and to the right. Good job. So bring it all the way back up through center, release through the foot, release through the knee, taking that leg back down to the ground. All right, we'll bring the left knee up over the hip and then stretch through the back of the left leg to the best of your ability. The leg might stay quite bent and that's okay. We're going to take it over the right side of the body a couple of inches, and then we're going to twist through the ankle so that you're pushing the pinky toe away, you're twisting the big toe towards the body. Go ahead, straighten the ankle, lift the leg back up. Now we're going to stretch the left leg abducted over to the left. Now push, then evert the ankle so you're pushing the big toe away, and the pinky toe kind of flexes back toward the armpit. Let's do this 2 more times. Bringing the leg up, inverting the ankle as you stretch it across the right side. Back up through center. Really try to stay nice and integrated through the core. So you're keeping the movement in the leg and in the ankle. And I will say, like, my bottom leg, my right leg on the ground is doing quite a bit of work. The foot is pressing, trying to use my hamstring and my glute over there to hold that side of the pelvis still. That makes it my job easier. Go ahead and release the leg whenever you feel ready. We're going to use the butt muscles to lift the pelvis up off the block. Take the block now in between the legs. Lots of space in the low back. All of the front ribs pull in toward each other and down towards the belly. And here we're going to rock on the soles of the feet to the left and to the right. So you're doing the same thing you were just doing with the ankle. When you do this, your brain is going to clump that movement together with movement of the legs. And so this is why we have the block here, because we're going to try to keep the thigh bones still as we roll to the inside and outside of the feet. So you're just rocking on the soles of the feet, leaving the pelvis and the legs exactly where they are. Okay, from here, lower the hips down to the floor. We can leave the block where it is because this will teach the legs to be nice active support systems for us. So push through the feet and feel how that can kind of send a reverberation of activation up the legs into the hips. You want to feel even the legs squeeze toward each other in the pelvis. We'll interlock the hands behind the head, lengthen the head back, and now anchor down through the low abdomen to lift up off the shoulder blades. Keep the head nice and soft into the hands. Soften your facial muscles, deepen your breathing, nice and low into the body. As you feel ready, return that back down to the ground. Keep your ribs grounding to the floor here, so as you come down, they don't pop up. We're going to keep the ribs pulling down. That initiates the movement as you lift the head up off the floor. Good. Go ahead and take that down. We'll add on to it. So lifting up off the shoulder blades, head soft into the hand. Lengthen the left leg long if that feels okay to you. Breathe here. We're going to flex and point through the left foot a couple of times. Okay, rebend the left knee. Take the head back down to the floor. Rest. Okay, gather the strength in your legs before you come on up off the shoulder blades, anchoring the belly, anchoring the low ribs. Option to lengthen the right leg, extend the right leg long, and flex and point through that foot a little bit, keeping the knee joint nice and soft so you're not sagging into your knee joint. Good. Release the right foot down to the ground. Come all the way back down. All right, so just feeling a little bit turned on through the belly, that'll probably do it for us. We can remove the block. Just taking the block over to the side. Taking the feet nice and wide here. We want to feel the pubic bone. Figure out where that is. It's on the lowest part of the pelvis before your pelvis turns under. You want the pubic bone to lift up and your ribs to go down to the floor. And now we'll let the legs drop over to one side. Let's say the right side for a little twist. So the left hip is going to be off the floor here. As this happens, still lift the pubic bone up towards the sky, ground the ribs down, and if you want to add a stretch, you can lengthen the left arm by the left ear. So that'll put it into the side body. Now you feel that, hopefully a stretch or some sensation along the front of the left side. Knowing that all of this stuff is connected down into the feet. Doing this will help the feet. Doing stuff with the feet helps this. It's all good. Go ahead and bring the knees back up through center. Keep the pubic bone rocking up towards the sky, your ribs pulling down towards the floor as you shift the knees over to the left. Both of my knees are hovering in the air, so neither one of them has dropped down. And as long as it feels good in your joints, specifically in your knee, you can lengthen the right arm long. Keep pulling the ribs down towards the floor, anchoring the pubic bone up towards the sky. That'll put the stretch along just the side of the body, but also the back of the body. We want to feel the back of the body inflate like a balloon. Good. Go ahead and bring the knees back up through center. And we'll come on up to all fours.
All right, it's dolphin time, my friends. So you can take the elbows down under the shoulders. Option to have the hands spaced wide, wider than the elbows, in fact, or interlocked, or you have your block here. You could also, put your hands around your block. Now we're gonna tuck the toes, lift off the knees, and breathe. So your legs do not need to be straight. They could even be stepped a little bit wider apart if that felt better to you. We're trying to get the ribs to lift up over the shoulder blades, pulling the ribs away from the thighs. Now, if you are ready to add on just a little bit here, pick your left foot up off the ground and take your toes around your right ankle on the back. So you're sort of sandwiching the right ankle and help your right ankle stretch down to the floor. And if you did that on the right side, do it on the left side, picking the right foot up, sandwiching the big toe and the second toe around the back of that ankle, and then helping it to sort of slide down a little bit. This is a big pose, so if you need to take breaks, that's a-okay. Go ahead and release the pose. So toes tucked under, let's see how much of a stretch they can take. Maybe you can set all the way back on your toes. If it feels okay for you to pull your pinky toe more underneath, you can do that. And it's from here that you will push down through the legs so you feel yourself nice and lifted. You want to feel like your thighs are moving down towards the floor as you get lifted. The belly lifts, the chest lifts, the head pulls up and back. And then perhaps interlocking the hands here will work out through the wrists now, just moving the wrists around. And seeing how they feel. Or do you feel any pain or any tightness in this? Do you feel clicking or clacking in there? Take in information without needing to do anything with it for now. Okay, we're gonna warm up the wrists. So taking the hands down underneath the shoulders, you can take the tops of the feet down to the floor. You can pat them out if that feels good. And with the hands down on the ground here, we're going to fire up the forearms. So anytime you're weight bearing on the hands, the forearms are really active. And the way that they're active is as if they want to lift the wrist away from the ground. So actually do that. Lift the wrist away from the ground. Keep your fingers down. Your thumb will go with your wrist. And now control the descent back down to the floor. And you'll feel how that wakes up the forearms. So do that again. Lift the wrists away from the ground. Your thumbs will go with you. And then slowly lower it back down. Let's do that a few more times. Really trying to put the movement into the forearms. And this will feel the best, obviously, when the spine is neutral. So get your neck nice and lifted, your head is lifted. Good, and then we're gonna take the forearms down to the ground, elbows underneath the shoulders. We can step the feet back to a forearm plank. So we're loading the toe stretch now. Push back through the heels, shift the shoulders forward. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Breathe here, we're not gonna be here for too much longer. You can do it. Good job, take the knees down to the floor, relax the pelvis. And anything you like that feels good here. I'm gonna stack my hands, drop my forehead, bend the knees, and sort of paint the ceiling left to right, twisting and moving through that low back. It's really common in these belly down poses to feel everything sort of splashing into the floor. So we need to work against that tendency. We're gonna lengthen the legs with the toes pointed if that's okay. If this doesn't feel good, lift your feet up onto something like a rolled up towel. Then we can take the elbows underneath the shoulders and prop ourselves up so we're in Sphinx pose. So this is where we have to be really careful about the splashing forward effect. I need to gather everything in on the front of my body, pull it towards the back of my body so that my low back feels really secure. Now with the palms facing down towards the floor, we're going to use the forearms again by lifting the hands away from the floor. So you're extending the wrists and then taking the palms back down. We'll do this 5 times. Extend the wrists, lift the hands, take them back down. Getting the wrists to work will make the whole chain of the hand all the way up to the shoulder feel better. Can you now flip the palms to face up? See how that works? And maybe they don't go all the way down. Maybe you can't get your thumb down. I actually can't get my thumb down right now. Cool information. So now you're gonna flex the wrists 5 times, taking the palms up. And try to use the muscles, strengthen the muscles of your arm, or contract the muscles of your arm here so you're not just hanging out on your bones and on your joints. Good. We're going to take that back down, release the chest down to the floor, and slide the hands back now underneath the elbows, which is sort of by the low ribs, with the fingers pointing forward. Now look down at the ground so the back of the neck gets nice and long. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears, and then up towards the ceiling, and then down towards your butt, like they're sliding into back pockets. And do that a couple of times. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, up to the ceiling, and then slide them into a back pocket. Keep the back of your neck long as you do this a few times. And then after this last one, we're going to slide the shoulder blades into the back pocket. We're going to pull back with the hands and lift the chest ever so slightly for cobra, baby cobra. As you do this, feel elongating out of your pelvis, not crunching in the low back. So everything on the front of the body is lifting into the back of the body. And now press into your hands, lift up to your knees. Walk your knees in underneath you. Layer your hands down on the floor, see how it feels to bear some weight in them. We're gonna tuck the toes under. We're gonna hover up off the knees. We're gonna start to shift the pelvis up and back, but keep weight in the hands. When I say weight in the hands, I mean act as if you want to lift your wrists, like what we were doing in our tabletop position. So your forearms are lifting. That's going to help the upper arms lift. It's going to help the armpits lift, so you have space there. And now use your legs to really stretch and pull the pelvis back away from the structure of the upper body. Deep breathing, maybe 2 more breaths. As you feel ready, we're going to see, can I push off the hands, walk them all the way back to the feet, release and relax through the head. If you like to sort of cup your head here, pull your chin into your throat, you can actually feel that whole back line of fascia light up with a stretch. So if you feel here like, oh, I'm stretching even through the top of my head or the back of my neck or something like that, that's because it's all interconnected all the way down to the feet. Press down with your strong feet. Scoop your tailbone as you slowly roll all the way on up to stand. Release the arms all the way down by the side. We're going to stretch the shoulders by reaching the arms forward and up and down by the side. One more time. Reaching the arms forward and up, lifting through the shoulder blades, keeping the spine nice and stable as you take the hands down. Hands onto the hips here, come all the way up onto your tippy toes, lower the heels, all the way up on the tippy toes, lower the heels. Try to get right up over the big toe mound, doing this a few more times. So this is sort of like the wrist lift that we just did, except for now it's the heel lift. So how could you get this in your calves? How can this not be like a swing of the body? Sometimes I notice I sort of swing up into this. So I don't want to swing, I actually want those calves to really work. Pull the heel up over the big toe, pull the heel up over the big toe. And now stay up on the tippy toes and start to walk it forward. Breathing nice and low in the body. Taking the feet down underneath the pelvis. Here we go, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky, nice and neutral in the spine. Keep the spine long as you hinge forward at the hips. Bend into the knees. We're going to step the right foot back, take the knee down, keep the toes tucked under as we come on up to a little low lunge. So really keeping the toe, push through the back toe, push through the front heel. It's like you're squeezing and hugging your front heel back. If it feels good to fly your arms back and down, you can do that. You could also reach the arms all the way up. As we feel ready, we're going to take the hands down and forward, lift the back knee, turn open to the side, and now you feel the inner lining of the leg. So if you're tight here, what it's going to do, it's going to pull your inner ankle down. So what we gotta figure out, do I bend the knees more? Do I take the feet closer together or farther apart? So that you can lift all 10 of your toes, take your hands to your ankles, and feel the bones there. Feel, are they pretty level in space? That's what I want. So keep your hands on your ankle bones as you now go to the left and to the right. I want those ankle bones to stay level in space. AKA, I don't want them sort of flopping in, and that's gonna put the stretch on the inseam of the leg. Good, now we can take the hands down, turn to the back of the mat, take the left knee down with the toes tucked under, come on up for your lunge. Okay, option to have your hands wherever they feel helpful to you, by your side or up. Try to feel your feet here. So you're pushing through the back foot and your front foot is sort of scooping back towards the pelvis. Good. Take the hands down, lift the back knee, turn open to the side. One more time, taking the hands to the ankles, going to the left and to the right. Good job. This time we're going to turn towards the front. Keep the back knee lifted, push down through the legs, come all the way on up. So now you're in a high lunge. So feel that back leg kind of rock on the back foot to the left and to the right until you can really feel clear that you've gotten it at center. So the heel is lifting right up over the ball of the back foot. Now push your front heel down into the floor like you're trying to push your belly away from your thigh. That's what it feels like for me. When I really get the left heel, push the left heel, it's gonna turn on my hamstring, and then it's gonna make me feel like, whew, like I'm blown up. So go ahead and take the hands to the hips here just for a nice center of gravity. Push down through the front heel, step the right foot underneath the pelvis. Now step the left foot back. Find your high lunge. So first get the back heel up. Take your time. Push your right heel down so you're really feeling like you're pulled up. See if you can find that. Now step through the right heel, step the back foot up. We're going to alternate between them. So step back, take a moment to find your feet footing, and then step forward. Step back with the right foot. Feel your bottom work for you. So if you are a sleepy glute person like I am, you can even put your hands back there. And you want the glutes to support this movement. Using your feet well will also help the glutes figure out what their job is. Okay, so step back with the right foot. Here we are. From here, we're gonna turn open to warrior two. So your left toes stay towards the front of the mat, right toes open to the long edge. And before you kind of go full blast here, take a few moments, feel your ankles, and then feel your pelvis. This is a really common thing in warrior two. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I want a nice level pelvis. I want knee bends to be possible in both legs. And then I'm just gonna come into a little bend into that left knee. It doesn't need to be a lot. You'll see these warrior twos where people insist on getting the 90 degree in the front leg, and then you'll look at their back leg and their joints are sort of in this really tense, pulled apart sort of situation. That's not what we're trying to get here. We want our joints to feel really well balanced all the way up the chain. Maybe you open the arms. As you feel ready, lift up and turn open to the other side. So take a few moments here. Always feels like I'm trading my attention from the front leg to the back leg to the front to the back until I land on a place where I'm like, okay, ankles are feeling good, legs are feeling good, pelvis feels like it's pretty normal, let's say, or like neutral, like Tadasana. Okay, lifting all the way on up out of that. One more time, warrior two to the left. Always good to repeat our poses. And it's from here, like once you feel nice and stable and balanced in the legs, we're gonna lift up through the left arm, stretching out that side body. When you do that, squeeze your sitting bones together. And then we're gonna take it the other way. So flowing like this, maybe one more time each side, feeling the sitting bones squeezing together so it's the stretch above the pelvis that we're going for. We don't want to move our pelvis. Coming all the way up through center, let's turn it open to the other side. Last warrior two. This time reaching up through the right arm and over with the left. One more time. And you're lifting all the way up here. Heel toe the feet together. If you want to at some point hop the feet together, you can do that. See how your feet feel there, and then step up to the top of the mat. From here, we're going to reach the arms all the way on up. And on the exhale, we'll take a forward fold over the legs. Take your hands to the floor, to a block or something like that. We're going to go ahead and step the right foot behind the left foot. So now we're cross ankles, forward fold. It's going to put a stretch along the backs of the legs and the feet in a little bit different way. Sort of shimmy out through the ribs here a little bit. And when you're ready for your other side, taking your right foot where it was, recrossing the left leg behind. Good job. As you're ready, take the feet down, take the knees down to the ground. So now you're in tabletop position. We're gonna stand on the arms. So if you're someone who deals with a lot of wrist stuff, the strengthening stuff we did at the beginning will be very beneficial and helpful for you to do every day. And that's in service of getting us to the place where we can weight bear on the hands and have that feel okay. So we're gonna practice that here. We're gonna hold here. We're gonna lift the right arm up and twist open to the right. And so we really want to feel that left arm and the left shoulder blade, a nice base of support for us. We'll go ahead and sweep the right arm under, maybe bringing the forehead towards the ground. Mine isn't even going to touch. And you can hold the twist there if that's what you want. Or you can go ahead and flow with it, reaching the right arm all the way back up and bringing it under. And feel the whole torso. That's really hard for me to feel. When you're ready to switch your sides, right hand down, left arm up. Right arm, nice base of support for you. As you now swing and reach, when you do that, the right elbow will bend. Good job. After your last one, come back through center. See how you feel here, hopefully a little bit more twisty through the spine. We're gonna go ahead and come on down to our backs. When you come on down, maybe you stretch your legs up towards the sky, maybe you kind of flex and point the feet. You can even roll out through the ankles, trying to do some slow, controlled rolling. And when you're rolling through your ankles, you're trying really hard not to move your shin bones or your thigh, because that way you know you're really just moving the muscles of the feet and the ankles. You would do that in both directions. Before we take our final rest, we can stretch the arms up to the sky as well, stretching out through the fingers, and then squeezing in at the fists, and then flicking out, and doing that over and over and over again, warming up the muscles of the hands and the forearms. It'll probably just feel really good going into the rest of the day, whatever you have going on, to have these puppies kind of turned on and primed. You know, whatever's on the docket, more typing, more driving, more dishes, whatever the case may be. When you're ready to rest, go ahead and stretch your body out. You've just really done a lot of work in the hands and the feet, so as you stretch the body out, they might feel a little bit more forward in your attention than some other parts of your body, which is always a fun thing to notice.
You're welcome to continue resting here. If you'd like to move forward, you can start to move little pieces of your body, whatever feels right to move. Eventually stepping the feet close to the pelvis, staying nice and soft as you roll over to one side. Using your free hand to help guide you on up to a seated position, keeping your eyes closed if that feels good. I'll offer us another moment of being quiet with ourselves, whether you're lying down or seated upright. Knowing that regardless of what thoughts come through your mind, the benefit is not in what you're thinking, it's that you're just taking the time to be quiet, to stop thoughts from turning automatically into behavior, putting that pause in there. And just by doing that, even if the thoughts that come through our minds are uncomfortable or something that we don't like, there's still good things happening. I hope that through this movement and through this quiet sitting, you feel more connected to yourself. You feel like you learned something about yourself, you tried something new, and that it will benefit you throughout the rest of the day, whatever else you have going on. All right, my friend, I'll see you here soon. Have a wonderful day.